You're in the Temple of the Rants, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Death Pie, who says, rant about Hayate no Gotoku, or Hayate the Combat Butler, as it were. Man, takes me way back to 2007, when I was first getting into currently airing fan-subbed anime, thanks to the Mega Tokyo forums. I was watching Manabi Straight, and Hidamari Sketch, and Gurren Lagann, and Lucky Star, and fucking Hayate the Combat Butler. Those were all the spring 2007 lineup. And if you go back through my anime blog, back to the very beginning, there's like a list of the shows I was watching that season. That's on there, and I wrote about it a little bit at the time. I was a fan. I was enjoying it. I really loved Nagi. I have a Figma, or a Nendoroid of her somewhere. I don't actually know if it's up on my shelf. I don't know what happened to it. Well, kiss that one goodbye. But I do have a Nendoroid of her, Sanzanin Nagi. I kept thinking Nagi Asakara, but that's something else. Sanzanin Nagi. She's a cute tsundere lolly voiced by Rie Kugimiya, as was the times. These were the days. You know, it's really funny because I don't know any of the new voice actresses. I know, like, all the ones who were hip back in my day. It makes me feel old as shit when people start, like, talking about the new actresses who are in everything and I don't know who they are. But Rie Kugimiya was the voice of the tsunderes of the late 2000s. And, Hayate the Combat Butler is just a goofy gag comedy rom-com kind of thing. It was doing kind of a generic rom-com plot, but with so much tongue-in-cheek and so much self-parody that it was a lot easier to watch for somebody who isn't generally into those things. Like, it wasn't very, like, fan service heavy, and most of the characters were fucking lollies who were all flat as a board. But, it was more about the gags, more about making fun of the genre, tons of references to stuff. The guy who wrote it, I believe, was he was an assistant to Koji Kumeta, who created Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. So that was another part of why I was into it, because I loved Zetsubo Sensei. And I had the first few volumes of the manga, but the thing about Hayate the Combat Butler is just kind of that it got old quickly, because it took me a long time to figure this out. When I was younger, I didn't ever watch very much of anything. Because of the fact that I had to buy it on DVD, I never made it very far into most shows. And most of the long runners, I had only seen, like, the early part of, never really seen later episodes. So I never caught on to the fact that long-running manga are designed to go on forever, that, like, the characters are not supposed to ever hook up, that there will never be any meaningful progress, that it's just going to be spinning its wheels through goofy shit forever. And so I think I made it like 14 episodes into Hayate the Combat Butler, 4 volumes into the manga, and then just kind of was like, this isn't going anywhere. Like, I thought there would be progress in the relationship. I thought maybe a confession wouldn't fall on deaf ears, or that there would be more romantic development between different characters, and I just wasn't getting that. And it kept introducing new characters who I didn't care about as much. Like, it's one of those stories where I feel like the author, kept getting bored of the characters he had and just inventing new ones and then kind of giving them more prominence. And I was like, I still am attached to the older characters, not so much these newer ones. So, yeah, I just kind of fell off with it. I mean, I loved all the references, especially since I was, like, not new to anime, but new to anime culture in a way, where, like, I've been watching anime since 2001, but 2007 was when I really discovered, like, the otaku side of it, and, like, the more self-referential, more, cultural, I guess, aspect of the medium. And so to have it making all these references to Evangelion and Gundam and Revolutionary Girl Utena and, like, all this other shit that I had, recently consumed was really fun, and it made me like it a lot. In retrospect, most of that stuff probably wouldn't impress me as much, and but at the same time, I wouldn't be duped into thinking that it was supposed to, make progress. So I'd be curious to give it another shot. I do remember trying to return to it like 5 years ago and finding that the art and animation quality of the show was just not incredible and like not up to the memory that I had of it. Um, and it was kind of slow. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't enjoy the anime. Maybe I'd give the manga another shot, but I can't really see myself returning to it. I feel like it's probably not that good, considering that it's not exactly a series that people have gone on praising over the years. It's more of a, when I hear it, I'm like, I haven't heard that name in years. Like, that's more my reaction to hearing Hayate no Gotoku. But it's just funny because it's one of those things that at like when it started, I was pretty into it. So like I still have this kind of fondness, this memory of really enjoying it at the start. But then I fell off with it so relatively quickly that anybody who would consider themselves a fan of it will have experienced much more, which is true of no shortage of things. No shortage of things that I was at ground zero for, massively excited, totally lost interest a year later, and now it's like a whole different beast with a huge following. Not that Hayate was as popular as that, but that's just kind of the story of my life. So yeah, I do like Nagi. I did try to watch the Manglobe continuation of the series at one point just to see if it was like different enough, and I couldn't make it past the first episode. I really did not like their take on it. I don't know how people generally feel, but was not a fan. That's about all I can remember about that damn show.